Hi guys, good morning and welcome to my knitting podcast. My name is Mandy and you can find me on the internet as Mandy Von Knits on Instagram and Ravelry. I am a 40-year-old woman and I live here in southeastern Michigan in the United States, and I live here with my husband and my two kiddos, and I love to knit and machine knit and crochet, and we're going to talk about it today. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, please stick around. I would love to have you. Okay guys, let's get down to first things first, because my battery has been acting really odd for my camera, so we might have to look into getting a replacement charger. But anyways, you're not here for that. Let's do admin first. We're going to draw a winner from last week's pattern prize giveaway. Okay, so I am going to leave a blank spot right here. And if that was you, please reach out to me on either Instagram or Ravelry as Mandy Von Knits and let me know what pattern price that you want. Okay, so how have you guys been? How is November treating you? Are you getting gift knitting done? Are you gift knitting? Are you working on stuff for yourself this year? Which is, I'm gonna be honest here, not a bad idea. I am in the midst of working on a Christmas sweater for my kiddo, my son, who is turning 15 in January, and it is turning into quite the project. It is an all-over colorwork sweater, and I will get to that in just a little bit. First, let's talk about the machine knitting that I've been doing this week. So, I have an Addie King, and last week, right at the end of the episode, I think, I mentioned that I wanted to go to Michael's. And I wanted to go to Michael's because they have Big Twist Sparkle there now. And I love that yarn. I am a big fan of sparkly yarn to begin with. And I really like Big Twist Sparkle. So I had wanted to go there to pick up some white yarn that was sparkly. And that was the only thing that I wanted. And what did I do? I went to Big Twist Sparkle and I took my daughter. And she had her own opinion on what she wanted. So I did not get white yarn with sparkle. I ended up getting two different colors. I got this Christmas red right here. Now, oh yeah, that'll come up on camera. Look at that color. Now, this was the one that I ended up picking after she picked the one that she really wanted. Now, these hats are more than likely going to be for me and her. We're going to have two extra. So one skein of Big Twist yarn ended up making two hats. And you can kind of see one's a little bit longer than the other. Let me kind of roll it down here. Actually, they're pretty similar. So this one, they seem to be pretty similar. I really enjoyed making these. I really enjoy the yarn. It's very thick, but it doesn't have an issue working up with the Addie King, which I have noticed is pretty rare with sparkle yarns. I do have issues with the Hirschner's worsted sparkle holiday yarn, but this seemed to work out pretty well. I ended up with two of these hats. So 1 and 2. Now, my daughter, with her own opinions, decided that she wanted this color. So, wow, look at how good that shows up on the camera. I love whenever sparkle yarn is the same vein of color as the yarn that it is. When the sparkle thread is the same color as the yarn itself. So it's not overpowering with sparkle. Like I would feel this would be if it were, say, a white thread running through this burgundy yarn, but it just gives enough of a glimmer there. But I've got this one and this one as well. So 2 hats from each skein. And that was all the yarn that I bought from Michael's, and it's used up. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, Mandy, you do not need 800 hats. And you're right, I don't. So I told you guys last week that I was dropping off some hats for donation. Now, a local news station local to us, was collecting for disadvantaged children locally in the area, and they were looking for winter hats, gloves, accessories, things like that. So I went through my hat containers, because I keep Sterilite containers full of hats, and I went through and I separated them, because I do make wool hats as well. And I make the wool hats and I give them or donate them to places where they are going to charge for them, or it isn't a big deal for the person to get a wool hat. Like somebody's buying something at a charity event. So I separated wool and then machine washable. After I separated it, I ended up with 2 Sterilite containers, and I'll put up a picture right here somewhere. And I ended up with 92 hats and 4 towels. So I was very happy. I still do have acrylic hats left, and that's just in case the kids need one or somebody needs acrylic hats. These are acrylic and machine washable. All of the hats that I donated were just the generic Addie King size. I don't want to take my hat here. I do not want to take my clip out, but basically like this. And I am wearing this with one of those jaw clips in my hair. So there is room. And I think they're comfy and cozy. And I hope that they get kind of some good use from them, because I enjoy making them. I really enjoy seeing, oh, now my hair's all messed up. I really enjoy seeing how the yarn works up. I enjoy being able to give people hats that are in need of hats, and it's very meditative. Is that how you say that word? Yes, it's very meditative. When I'm after work, I'll spend 30 minutes, and in 30 minutes I can make a hat, sometimes even a hat and a half, and I really enjoy it. So that's it. I did do some other machine knitting, and I know you guys are like, oh, what are you talking about? I pulled out my sock machine. Now, I don't know that I've even really mentioned that I've had a sock machine on my podcast before. And there's good reason for that. I bought my sock machine a couple of years ago, right before I got very sick. I ended up with septic arthritis. And right before that, I believe I got it like a month or 2 before I ended up getting so sick. I was basically bedbound for 3 months, and then in and out of the hospital. So needless to say, I did not get a lot of use out of it. So I started thinking, I'm like, I really want to start, utilizing that, looking at what I can do with it. Now that I've gotten so comfortable with the Addie King, and I know there's a difference. First of all, the sock needles are metal and the Addie King are plastic. So that in and of itself is a huge difference. You can really hurt yourself on knitting machine needles if you're not careful. They are pokey. Just forewarning you. So anyways, I pulled it out and I started playing around with it. Now, I have a machine from Dean & Beans. I bought it back when they were still doing the Tuttle cylinders and the larger version. So I have a couple different cylinders. I had gotten the package that kind of includes everything, and it also included like a 92 stitch cylinder, and it was called a Tuttle cylinder, and I don't think they make those anymore. I was checking it out on their website and they said that they'd been discontinued. But with all of that said, first of all, I grabbed out, I believe, a 64 count cylinder, and I have just been kind of playing around with it, getting used to cranking tubes on it, and I'm hoping that I can start making useful things. I'm not so much a sock knitter, which sounds ironic, but I have a good reason. I am wheelchair bound and I have neuropathy in my feet, and I don't want to wear hand knit socks. I'm just too worried about it. So that is why I tend to steer clear of socks. But I have been cranking sock tubes, and I'm thinking that there are useful things that you can do with this besides socks, like mitts. I could definitely take this and make some mitts out of them, and I think that this is actually really cute, this color. Now, this first color that I am showing you is a Felici color, and this is Felici before they took it away and brought it back. So this is definitely stash yarn. I cannot remember what this color is, and I have another color to show you in just a second, but I really like how bright it is. It reminds me of spring and, you know, sunny days, which is the exact opposite of what outside reminds me of right now. And I'm gonna show you this one. Now, this was a Halloween yarn that I got from somewhere. And this I did not crank last week. This was a yarn that a tube that I had already cranked previous, the last time I used it. So basically when I first got it. But I figured I would show you guys this as well, because it is a tube and it's really interesting to see how that yarn kind of worked up. You never really, whenever you look at a yarn in the skein, do you guys wonder, like, what is it going to look like when it knits up? Are you ever right? Because I don't feel like I'm ever, well, I'm right with self-striping, and that's about it. But for a variegated yarn or something like this, I'm always wrong. It's really interesting. I told my son that I could make him socks out of this, maybe. I don't know how long it has to be for socks. Does anybody else know? Is that long enough? Maybe like mitts. That's how much of a sock knitter I am. I have no clue how long they are. I do have extra of this, and I could most definitely make another tube. So this is the other skein of Felici, and I'm showing you guys this because, you know, Felici is mass-produced, commercially dyed, that's the word I'm trying to say, a commercially dyed yarn. And I would have been so sad. This would have made me so sad if I would have hand knit this. Are you guys ready to see how it turned out? Look at this. Do you see the color and how it just randomly changed? We've got some more color missing up here. I couldn't imagine putting all of that work into that sock and having it just, the yarn messed up like that. It looks like they broke the yarn, and I mean, I guess that's okay. It's not gonna bother me. I can just take this part right here, I mean, if it really bothered me, and make some mitts out of it. And I am a true newbie. I just cast the stitches off. So you can kind of see them unraveling here. Not really, because the sock gauge is so tight that they don't unravel that much. But if I, decided to pull at them, they would. And for this next one, they very well might. So this, and I only did just a little of this because I did not have much of this skein left, but it's very interesting. You can see how my gauge changed halfway through. This is Lion Brand Summer Nights, I believe, and it is a cotton and acrylic yarn, and this is super soft. I cranked this because I had a little bit of it left. I wasn't planning on making anything out of it necessarily with at least the little bit I had left, but I did want to see how it looked knit up. And this is all that I have, but it's got sparkle in it, and I really think it's pretty, especially right down there. And I'm thinking I can take one of the smaller cylinders that I have and crank, because I have 2 more skeins of this, I could crank out some headbands on it because I really like how that yarn looks right there. And I just think it's so soft and pretty. Or maybe even like an ear warmer if it was thick enough. Something like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? What would you do, or what do you do with sock tubes? I know that the obvious answer is going to be make socks. And I understand that. And you know what? That's really cool too. But what else do you guys make besides sock tubes? I am very interested in hearing all of the different ways that you utilize like sock machine tubes, or even if you make socks with them, what's your favorite way to do it? Afterthought heel. Do you, I don't know, do you make a folded over hem, or do you pick the ribbing up and just knit that? That has been what has been on my mind this month with, well, not this month, this past week with machine knitting. Just kind of working on that and getting more of a feel for it and seeing all of the different things that I could do with it. Like I said, I'm a newbie, and I did get a desk that rolls. So I'm hoping that makes it much more accessible than my flatbed knitting machine, because I do have a flatbed knitting machine, but the desk does not roll. And that makes it really hard with accessibility. So hopefully with the rolling desk, it will make it a little bit easier to reach for when I feel like working on it. Okay, I am going to try to grab my crochet blanket without grabbing all of the yarn and unskeining it, but we'll see if that really works. See this? It never fails. No matter what I do, things just fall off of the cakes. And I mean, that's what it is, and it's because the cakes are so big, but I just kind of roll them up as I'm going, and it's been working out fine. So this is my crochet ripple blanket, and it seems like every week I put on maybe a row or two, and I've just been having fun with it. It's the perfect kind of daydreaming crochet, and it's super large, and I'm very happy that I'm at least making some progress each week, because I have been trying to buckle down on Christmas knitting for my son. But this is also for him, by the way. This is going to be just a green and blue crochet ripple blanket for whenever it gets done. It's most definitely a long-term project, because even folded in half, it's about my wingspan here. This is crocheted with Sidar jewel spun ombre, and the cakes are very large, so it's the perfect yarn to work on blankets with. and I've been alternating the cakes because I'm using 2 of them. I've been alternating the cakes every other row, and I feel like that has worked out pretty well. You can kind of see where it doesn't look like that necessarily, and that is because sometimes the cakes will like fall. I'll be working from the inside and the cake will kind of fall apart on the outside. So then the next time I grab from that side, from that skein, I will grab from the outside. And that's just kind of the way it is. I did weave in all of my ends so far. And I did that because I just thought that it looked a little bit better that way. And it does, right? This yarn is amazing to weave in as well. It is very grabby, and I don't think I'll ever have to worry about this yarn like coming undone. Oh, I don't want to say that. Weaving itself out after I weave it in, because the yarn, like I said, is grabby. It does have the potential to kind of grab on itself and not. You just have to watch out for that. It's no big deal. But it's nice and soft, and it is acrylic. And I feel like, is it acrylic or, yeah, it's acrylic. I put up the info right here. Sometimes I forget if it's all acrylic or acrylic and a teeny tiny bit of wool, because sometimes it does have a little bit of wool in it, but I believe that that's all acrylic. Okay, that is my crochet. Like I said, I've been having a lot of fun making that. I'm not sure if I'll do the same type of pattern for my daughter or if I'm going to do a different one. But to be fair, I'm pretty partial to that one. Or at least one that's as easy as that. I want a blanket that I can zone out while watching TV and craft. Either knitting or crochet. Probably crochet because I don't know that I can knit a blanket. I know I can knit a blanket. I just don't feel like I'm at that point that I want to knit a blanket. I would much rather crochet one just because it's a little bit faster. Plus, if I crochet my daughter's, or if I crochet my son's and his gets done, and then I knit my daughter's, she's going to be asking me about once every 14 seconds, where's my blanket? So crocheting in this instance will be a much better idea. Okay, we talked last week about my Christmas sweaters that I am trying to get done. And I don't know, guys, if I'm going to be able to get this done. I know in the comments you all said that I should be able to get it done, but I don't know. So we're just going to hope. I have buckled down, and I've only been working on this in terms of hand knitting. So that is good. And I have made some progress, and that is also good. But I still have a lot more to go. Now, this is the Strange Brew from Tin Can Knits, and if you've never seen this pattern before, I'll put up a picture of the pattern and some of the pictures and the price information. But if you've never heard of this pattern before, it is basically a choose your own adventure. Tin Can Knits gives you a recipe to make a circular yoke sweater. And then they give you a bunch of color work motifs. And all of the motifs are mathematically compatible with the round circular yoke pattern that they give you. So you can pick and choose whatever motifs that you want and build as intricate or as simple a color work sweater as you want. And I decided that I was going to make 2 all-over colorwork sweaters. One for my daughter, which I finished, and if you haven't seen that, you can check out previous episodes. I'll put up a link, one of those little info boxes, and you guys can take a look at that. The podcast that I finished it in. But I finished hers and I started on my son's, and it is like November something, like 13th, 14th, 15th. It's terrible I don't know this, but it's somewhere around there. We're at the middle of November, and I got a little bit done this week. My one problem that I've had, and I don't know, you'll have to tell me down below in the comments. My one problem that I've had is that whenever I have something with knitting that I need to get done, I will buckle down and make sure that that's the only thing that I work on. But my motivation to knit kind of drops. So let me know down below if you guys are like that. This is what I've got. And I am going to be, I don't know. I know, ooh, look at that star. I love how that came out. So I am making my son a video game sweater, and it's going to be hard for me to show you the color work without falling out of the chair, but I will most definitely give it a go. So that is the star, and you can see up here we've got some ghosts, and you guys know who that is if you can tell. I don't know how long I have, so I'll try to make this fast. So this is, that looks great. I really like those. So after this chart, I work a couple more rows, and then I'm going to take measurements and see how much longer I have till sleeve split. Theoretically, according to the pattern, it shouldn't be much longer than right here, but we'll see, because my row gauge is always terribly off. So I will be measuring it. I might even block it, and I don't know if I want to lose time blocking it. It is fingering weight yarn, so it does dry super fast, but we'll have to see. I mean, it's just one of those things. I am knitting a men's medium. My son wears a men's small, or even extra small. This is going to be big on him. I made this big on purpose, and I am making it probably maybe even 2 sizes bigger than him. I did have him try it on. It does fit. There's enough room for about this much ribbing. Right now it sits almost like a boat neck, and I'm liking that, and I'm loving how it's going. I just need to kind of get working on it, get knitting. It's a lot of stitches. I've got almost 400 stitches here. Yeah, around 400 stitches here. So it's quite a bit to do a whole row, but I am getting there. This is fiber optic yarn, and it's on their cashmere base. And we picked it up when I was in Ohio, and my kids picked out their own colors. So this is my son's. He picked out these right here. And then this is the base color, which is called In the Navy. I'm actually hoping I have enough of this, so we'll have to see. I have 3 skeins of it. I'm thinking if I don't, I will know fairly quickly, and then I can order another one and kind of alternate the last 2 skeins together. But I love the way that the blue and the gold look. I am not sure what the next chart is going to be. I'm going to have to show him the charts that I have, and he'll pick. I have a border to do. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm using the same border that I picked for my daughter's sweater, because I would do a motif, a border, a motif, a border, and kind of alternate back and forth. Well, I picked the same border for each sweater, kind of to tie them together. So this has been a lot of fun, and this is super soft, but it's also going to be my main focus for the foreseeable future. I'm hoping I can get it done by Christmas, but no promises. I know I'm not getting my Christmas sweater done by Christmas, but that's fine. I can do that and my husband's after Christmas, no problem. Okay, I think that's it for the knitting and the crafting content. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but if you would like to enter for next week's pattern giveaway, just leave a comment down below and come back next week and see if you won. Okay, I am going to talk about life for about 5 minutes, so if that doesn't interest you, please give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next week. I release a video every Tuesday, and it comes out at 8 a.m. Eastern most of the time, unless I manage to mess that up. Okay, so this next week on Wednesday, I am going to get a lidocaine infusion, and I am very nervous about it. It is a treatment plan, kind of a treatment plan for neuropathy. And I've got my fingers crossed on this one because when I went to the pain clinic, the two things that they had mentioned was basically like a steroid shot in my back or lidocaine infusions. And I am not eligible for any shot in my back. I have a spinal fusion and there's a bunch of nerve damage, and nobody in their right mind wants to inject anything in my spine, and I don't blame them. But that kind of puts me in a bad position. So I scheduled this lidocaine infusion in like late August, early September, I think. And this was the closest appointment that they had. So it is now November. It will be November 19th when I go. Keep your fingers crossed it works. The way that it works is that you go in for a lidocaine infusion, they infuse you, and then they see if it helped improve you at all, your pain. And if it doesn't, they do a second infusion. And if that works, or if it worked the first time, then they can put you on a pill of some sort. And the pill of some sort, I looked it up, and it's oral lidocaine. I did not know that there was a thing, but there is. And they have to give you EKGs as they're putting you on the medicine and like increasing the dose because it does something with your heart. And I didn't really ask for clarification. If you're like me and you worry about lots of stuff, you don't want clarification for some things. Some things you're just like, okay, well, the doctor's gonna check and that's good enough for me. But keep your fingers crossed, guys, if this works for me. It would be really good. I do have a lot of pain, especially this time of year. I have like nerve pain daily, sometimes hourly. So, I mean, anything that could help that would be great for me. So, fingers crossed. Other than that, not much is going on. I'm working on my son's sweater, and I would really love to go to Michael's tomorrow, but I'm not going to. I have some sparkle yarn that I'm going to grab out to kind of build back up the hats so that I can make another a bulk charity donate to another organization. I think that it's a great use for acrylic yarn, and they're asking for hats, so it keeps me busy and it makes me feel useful. So I really do like doing it. Okay, I think that's it. If you could, please give this video a thumbs up or hit the subscribe button. We are going to be starting Vlogmas like in half of a month. I can't believe it. And I won't be doing Vlogmas, just daily or just weekly Tuesday videos. Vlogmas is very overwhelming for me because I'll look at YouTube and there's like things to look at everywhere, and it overwhelms me. So I always feel terrible. I can't keep up. And I really do try. I'm gonna be honest. But I have a hard time keeping up with regular podcasts. It's just life is just life, right? So anyways, I will see you guys next week. I hope you have an awesome week and have fun crafting. Okay, thanks. Bye.